totally and brutally honest here. Sean Corbin makes Valerie Brudov look like Ivan Drago. It's as simple as that. He's beat what's in front of him tonight. He faces me. He's going to visit mental demons again. And let's get something straight. Come to me, mate. You come to me. Next time, ain't no judge is going to be needed. I'm going to do worse than Kovalev. I am going to do worse than Kovalev.
On Saturday night, mate, you better hold it together. I'm going to smash it near you to pieces, mate. I'm going to hit him. When he gets in the ring and we get 10-ounce gloves on, I'm going to smash his head to bits. I'm going to do it November the 30th against all odds. No matter what people say, the journalists write what you want. All as I'll say is tune back in and then look at me on December the 1st when I am world champion. It's as simple as that.
I'm willing to die in that ring. It's as simple as that. I am willing to die. I'm willing to die, Saturday. Is he?
You fucking right. Yes, Bellew of the Week's for episode 391. Andy's here, Rob's here, Steve's here. Thankfully, before we finish up, first nomination from me for Ryan Garcia is from Super Dicky193 on Twitter. Work, 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 like on Rihanna, says Ryan as he gets down and dirty with a medicine ball. At least he's off the ballads, Rob.
You'd be shitting yourself here with that, wouldn't you, if you're Tank Davis? He's working out for Rihanna. Okay, man.
Quite a few nominations are coming.
Bitch.
Quite a few nominations are coming for Tony Bellew. Some classic virtue signalling from Tony. He's using his brother's gay wedding as an opportunity as a personal rebranding exercise. He said the comments about my brother getting married are very sad. I can't say I'm surprised though, to be honest. Growing up with him in the late 80s and early 90s, it was much worse, as they say it to your face and not on a social media platform. Being young, gay and black still isn't cool, I see. And straight after he tweeted that, his wife was thrown out.
And then he tried to say he didn't know that he was standing in front of that sign that said Kenny Dalglish is homosexual. So don't look around, mates, when I get pictures taken, mate. I'll just look up straight at the camera, mates. You know what I mean?
It must have been ninjas that put up that fucking
Leave
flag.
me alone, will you? It must have been ninjas, yeah.
And there was nobody nearby.
It was the SAS.
It was the SAS that's working in there. And they say, aye.
Fucking hell, Tony. Just leave him alone, lads. Leave him alone. Fuck's sake. Let him go to his gay brother's wedding without fucking torturing him.
This is what I'm saying, right? So what happens, right? You go to a family event, you go to a wedding, funeral or whatever and stuff like that, and you take pictures to post it on Twitter, social media. Like, that's the first thing you think about doing, right? You go to a public, private event with your family. I'll tell you all day, I'm going to take some pictures, I'm going to post it on Twitter, I'm going to get people flexed and vexed up a wee bit. He knew what he was doing with that, surely to Christ. He knew what kind of response he was going to get.
Absolutely. It was a personal rebranding process. Sitting with the rainbow masks on and all that type of stuff. He was using it as an opportunity, I think, to make a statement, was Tony. Talking about making statements, what about ring IQ boxing?
If he wanted to make a statement, he should have made one when his missus allegedly made those remarks against the poor fella in the hotel. When he come out in solidarity then.
Rob, as Jay Nady would say, not those kind of statements.
Exactly. Leave him alone.
Ring IQ Boxing nominated from Joe Kennedy. What did he say again? Oh, Eddie Hearn is a fucking hero. Strongest female stable with Katie Taylor, etc. Says him. Porky's Corner is the bigger dickhead. Who's he nominating here? Oh, Dean White thinks he was in the bubble. He'd have warned Dillian about the uppercut. So nomination for Dean White, a.k.a. Lamar Scott, a.k.a. Dwayne Povetkin, whatever he's called himself this week. Ben Thorne's another one. Bellew's missus looking thrilled at the wedding. Nomination for him, stroke her. Plus, says Ben, nomination for Eddie Hearn, telling us Dillian White wasn't angry enough for the first Povetkin match. He obviously needs more Diana Ball.
It was too nice to him that he was so ferocious in the build-up. Actually, they put him in a fucking camper van away from them because he was.
I don't know about that, Eddie. He was fucking raging when he woke up, man.
I know they were that worried, Andy. They were going to have to separate them from the press conference.
Exactly. I need to keep them apart because Dillian was going to attack him in the hotel and that. Can you imagine Dillian White on his own attacking a fucking mob of 6 Russians? They're kind of nonplussed about that. So,
but watch out this time. He's angry. Pay-per-view, baby. He's angry.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He's singing Ain't No Sunshine again.
David Hay will be wheeled out next.
What do you think, though? Out by him, retired?
Nah, they can always squeeze one last one out you, Andy.
And I suppose he's trying to get one out to Kell Brook still, eh?
Ah, exactly. Good old Kel. Maybe a nomination for Kel coming up later. Who knows? Eddie's been nominated, naturally, by Ben Thorne's Bellew of the Week to Eddie the Salesman. Can't remember what he said in the video, but I did watch it at the time. Good evening, Ed. Absolutely. James has been nominated from Eggy Phil, as well as British Boxing Blog and many other people. Underneath Eddie's book, James said, "To be honest with you, mate, my favourite thing about boxing is your interviews with Coogan, so I'll probably read it." So there you go. All the things in boxing, Andy. His favourite thing is the interviews with Coogan, so there you go. He's having a good time.
Coogie Bear. Nice and cuddly.
What's your favourite thing about boxing, Rob? Would it be Relentless by Eddie?
It would be Eddie shamelessly selling his own products, like me shamelessly selling my own t-shirts. Now go to my Twitter page to find out more. Evening, Ed.
Oh dear. Yeah, Tony Bellew, nominated by Num Tapestry. That's Lee. I rarely nominate anybody, but this can't go without mention. This was Bellew talking about the aforementioned Kenny Dalglish poster. When was the last time someone asked you for a photo and you checked behind you? Sad like, but I got
loads of times.
I got ads here.
Fucking nearly every time I get a photograph taken is one of the first things I do. Matter of fact, what's over my shoulder here? Oh.
Oh dear. Rick Law has nominated. This is another one for Tony. Unfortunately, Tony was having a go at people for having a go at him. Blah blah blah. Pac-Man says, "You're right, Tony. Some people belong in the dark ages. Congrats to you and your brother on his big day." And then a rainbow flag. And then he put a link up to the Daily Mail article. Shocking moment. Wife of defeated boxer Tony Bellew launches homophobic rant at venue. Staff calling one a fucking queer and another a fucking dirty fag, according to the Daily Mail. This is what was. This is the little message that
was the night he beat Bellew. Is that the night Bellew beat Hayes? Or the night Bellew got iced off music?
I'm not sure, but it's on the Daily Mail, so it must be legit.
So she was upset that night.
Rick Law nominated him for that one. That's a good one. Liam Jordan has nominated again. Poor old Tony. Leave him alone. He just wants to be left alone. He's a celebrity. This was in response to someone writing underneath the comment, "I love how you're a celebrity, Tony, yet still tweet about the most average, typical stuff. Man of the people is Tony."
I love the way he's the real brains of Britain. Like, what was he thinking? Taking that selfie of him and the missus with the rainbow masks on him and putting that picture out in the public, knowing full well what she was accused of just a couple of months ago. Like, what was he? He was on a wind up there, like, wasn't he? He knew what he was going to get there. Like, fucking hell, man. Leave him alone.
Oh dear. Ricky Gravel, who was knocking about in the chat, don't know where he's gone now, sent in a good one. Nomination for Adam Smith for saying the commentary isn't as biased as they acknowledge that Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua when he knocked him out. Did you see this one? Bean basically saying we can't be biased. Whenever Ruiz knocked out Joshua, we called it. We said Ruiz had just knocked out Joshua, so how can we be biased? Good old Bean.
Yeah, you got Macklin saying like the previous weekend that we've got to be biased, They'll take it too far one day, and that they'll be like, I think I listened to this with Jim Watt and Nick Holland had their place in that. I was listening to Jim Watt on something unrelated the other night there and stuff. I'm saying to myself, it was actually watching an old fight card with Jim Watt as well. It's a bit of reflection actually just listening to them. Like you had, I think Barrera was fighting a British fighter. Who was it? Barrera fought Steve for England on a card over here.
Oh, was it way back in the day? Was it Paul Lloyd or the other fella?
It was Paul Lloyd. And they came on, start the show, and Jim Watts just says, look, it's a tough ask. He says, Barrera's one of the biggest pound-for-pound fighters on the planet. It says, but Paul Lloyd has got up next to no chance in that, right? Can you imagine that fight happening these days on Sky? Johnny Nelson saying, Paul Lloyd, that, you see him, he's got world-class power and that, he's a fantastic fighter, I think he's a better technical fighter than Barrera, all that type of shite, so it just shows you how far Sky slipped. And, Jim Watt might have had his moments and stuff, whereas he's, the usual, comments he made and all that sort of stuff, but at least, he was nobody's fool, shall we say? He came out the scene and he knew how a fighter should fight and how they should go about it. Obviously, he done his time in that, but I just think just a shite to come out with the Sky and that. It's just relentless. As I said to you last week about ESPN and that, they spent the whole round of a fight talking about everything apart from the fight itself and that. it's just story times and selling the brand and the product and stuff, and the quality. I mean, this week alone, I was really struggling to watch fights this week, and just listening to Kriegel again, cropping up and that, I'm like, fuck this pish.
No, I can't listen to Kriegel. I couldn't listen to them. I listen to something else and just watch it. Although the Showtime wasn't too bad, to be honest. I thought Abner Mares was off to a bit of a ropey start, but he's no Paulie. But I think he settled in quite well towards the end. I mean, we're talking about like the electric chair being compared to the deadly injection, Rob, when I say he wasn't too bad, compared to some of the pish that's out there, as Andy would say. You got the likes of ESPN, Sky, and all them putting that in. I thought Mares, Bernstein, Mero and Alo's a bit suspect. I know they're not bad. I think Brian Custer's good as well. I think Showtime are the best of the bunch.
Melrose, we mate. He had me on his pod, but I asked him to come on our pod, and he said he would, but then he never got back to us.
Probably listened.
So yeah, exactly, yeah. So I don't know. The jury's out there. I don't know. It's not a strong panel, but Showtime are not in a strong place. And like, if Erickson Lubin is heading up the fucking card, man, come on, of all the fighters on planet Earth, Erickson Lubin is headlining the Showtime card. Give me a fucking break, man. Come on, how's Abner how's he going to make fucking good of that? Like, he can't do miracles, but yeah, Paulie's a big loss, but he's a loss for Sky as well, because he's not going to be back there either, because Eddie's not going to touch that with a fucking barge pole, is he? Anyway, I'm not going to go down the road I was going to go down there, even Ed.
Absolutely. Fuck Showtime. Get woke, go broke, get Paulie back in, I say. JS Park has nominated Anthony Fowler. Tell you what, some arseholes in the world, says Fowles. I got an email today from the Advertising Standards Agency saying, have I been paying people to advertise Supreme CBD? I've never paid anyone to say anything about the product. They do so on their own back after they're amazed with their... And then he cut the rest off. I'm not quite sure what they're amazed with. They're amazed with something. Well, how about this one then, Rob? Follow up from Fowles here. You see a lot of celebrities jumping on the bandwagon, says Yogi. And Fowler says, on this topic, I got offered £500 for one Instagram post on Forex trading last week. Told him no thanks. I'm not letting my followers put money into something I don't believe in.
Well, as you know, I'm against fellas shamelessly plugging their own stuff. But how dare somebody make that accusation that Anthony Fowler is getting paid to advertise CBD? Where would they get that notion out of? For fuck's sake. Kidda.
Yeah, Zeconomics nominated him for that one. Boxing History has been nominated by...
Give some of it to Fitzgerald, he might calm down a bit.
He could do with it. He put the overdose on it, knowing him. Could do with a bit of CBD, I think. Boxing History has been nominated by Carter. Correction, says Boxing History, after tweeting out that the Professor Azuma Nelson was born on this day in 1958 in Accra, Ghana. Correction, they tweeted out shortly after. Azuma was born in July, not September. Apologies. Still a badass, though. Yeah, we can all agree with that. Andy, you nominated this one. Liam Lawyer as well jumped in with it. Premier Boxing PBC trying to slip in fake news. A little Erickson Lubin statistic trying to pretend that he was still undefeated. What's this all about?
Yeah, so you know how PBC have usually got the fighters' records at the bottom right hand corner of the screen. They try to say that Erickson Lubin was actually undefeated, where he's actually got an L in his record to Charlo, or the big L as well, iced in, 40 seconds, first round, whatever it was in that. So I thought it was a bit kind of sneaky of them,
It was a good one from Eggy Phil. It's like a fucking grooming gang, the amount of them come together to sell that CBD. It is getting a bit like that. Talking of which, Anthony Fowler has been nominated by Franny550. So my mate went to go for a corona test yesterday, says Anthony. Filled out all the forms, was waiting in a queue for ages. So thought, fuck this, then got off only to get a test that night saying he was positive. Very strange or what, says Fowler. Hopefully get him gargling the old CBD after that scare. Quite a few for Fowler than Andy. Eddie got a few as well, so did Bean, but loads coming in for Bellew. Any nominations from you before we finish up?
Yeah, I got one in. John Evans sent me this one in, so it's Sky have actually sent out a tweet asking the question, which fight would you like to be in history would you like to have been ringside for, right? So this guy called El Extraordinaire, I don't know what his Twitter handle is, but he says, I'd love to have been ringside for Joshua versus Charles Martin. Seeing AJ start his world championship journey in such style would have been class. Awesome night by Eddie Hearn. So somebody comes back and asks me the question, are you fucking joking? She comes back and doubles down and says, remember watching the pay-per-view and the atmosphere was electric. At the end of the day, it's all about those big nights. Doesn't get any bigger than that one. Prior to the sold-out venue, Frank couldn't fill out his living room at the time. That night changed the game. So
Who said that?
El Extraordinaire, that's his name.
Why does he have to bring Frank into it for? What a nonce.
This is what they do. This is what they do, mate. This is the Matchroom FC fans. You know, it's like, for example, see if you support a football team and your rival does something that's really bad, whatever, and that, right? And they'll use that at some point. So like, it's just basically like, it's what about it?
What about it? Yeah.
That's what it's all about, you know. So if Eddie fucks up, for example, right, you can't allow Eddie to fuck up without mentioning Frank, whereas you can't allow Frank to fuck up without mentioning Eddie. So it's just like, I see Frank's coming out saying that that meeting with Eddie's likely not going to happen and stuff like that. So we kind of suspected that at the end of the day anyway. So trying to think what else have I got. Just let me check my phone.
Just while you're checking there, Andy, MB says big nights, he got chinned in one punch. I'm going to say something I've said before, and I'm not even trolling here. I think Charles Martin should have been allowed to carry on. I honestly do. I think Steve Smoger would have sent him back out again. Now, the likelihood is he probably would have got stopped, but he was getting battered around. I think Charlie should have been thrown back out after that second knockdown, you know.
He was looking for the way out, man.
Yeah,
You're academic.
Walks his life like a god now. I want to throw in Teofimo Lopez as well. I'm going to keep a really close eye on this, by the way, because this kid's doing a lot of talking, by the way, that he's going to have to cash up. He just came out in the comments and says, Lomachenko's on his way out. I'm looking through him. So I think that's a bit of a bad move, actually. You know, I think Loma's just sitting back, letting Lopez do all the talking, you know, hype up the pay-per-view and stuff, and then it'll be a different story in the ring and stuff. We'll wait and see. I'm really looking forward to that one, actually, because, as I say, it's been 2 years in the making and stuff, and it's to see, like, the young fighters, Lopez, for example, and yeah, to a lesser extent, Ryan Garcia, you know, fighting Luke Campbell and that. You know, he didn't want, especially now that Lopez has got world title, and that, he didn't want him sitting on it as such. So he's called out the number one fighter in the division. He's got the fight, so let's get it on. I'm really looking forward to that one. But I do think the comments he's coming out with and stuff, it's purely about hyping that. But I think this one about I'm looking past Lomachenko, I think that's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Like if
I'm buying fully into the hype. In mouthwater and prospect that fight is as well behind closed doors, man. What a fight! Like, oh my god, the fucking Lomachenko taking on the young big punches. That's what you want to see. Like, fucking hell, like, whatever you say about Lomachenko, you can't ask for any more of him in terms of opponents. Like, there's nobody out there that he ducked. Nobody that he ducked along the way. Jumping up and down weight divisions. Could come unstuck. I feel like Lopez is going to have moments in this fight. Like, I really do. I feel like I think Lomachenko possibly could be not on the way out, but I think, you know, his amateur record is going to take its toll on him. I think there's going to be a time where he breaks down. You see it, like, you can see it coming. Nobody goes forever, like, so maybe Lopez is getting him at the right time, like, but I'm really looking forward to this fight. I know we're going off the topic of Bellew of the week, but that's some fight, like.
Great fight. Looking forward to it myself. Also, yeah, Andy, did you have any more to throw in?
Yeah, just one for Eddie Hearn talking about the Showtime card. So I'm just going to try and see if I can play this over my mic. Give me 2 seconds.
We're all guilty sometimes of, what do we say in England, polishing a turd, where you have, you know, something and you dust it up to make it look great. What they did was really clever. You know, they said, this is our schedule. Everyone come back and went, wow. But when you dissected it, I think old Coppinger got a bit of stick because he said, actually, what am I supposed to look forward to there again? And
so that's Eddie talking about the Showtime cards that was announced a few weeks ago and stuff.
My God.
I wonder if he's going to be still thinking that this time next week. Because I'll tell you what, that card hopefully is going to be the best card we're going to have had this year so far, I think.
Was that before or after he headlined with Harper Jonas or Felix Cash against Jason Wellborn? Yeah. Or was that in between when he put Cheeseman on against, who did he fight again? Sam Eggington? Sam
Eggington. It was around about that time, mate, because it was actually in his front garden with the ring and stuff like that, so it could have been the week before fight camp or sometime during it.
Fucking idiot. Any nominations from you, Rob?
Oh, yeah. Have you seen it? Maybe you covered this before I got on. Mayweather versus Logan Paul. It's official. It's happening, baby. in Las Vegas when the crowds are back. Mayweather is going to take on YouTuber Logan Paul in an exhibition boxing match, which is going to earn him crazy money, like silly money. Millions and millions and millions for a spar against a fucking jerk off, who I actually hope beats Mayweather this time, because I think he's just getting greedy at this stage and taking the piss out of the public, and is obviously broke as well, like cannot maintain that lifestyle, and is coming back for one more payday.
Is he that lad, Rob, who fought the other fella before on pay-per-view, wasn't it? Who did he fight before that, Logan Paul? He had another fight, didn't he?
KSI or someone.
Yes,
he
yes, yeah.
lose to KSI or one of them other YouTubers. But he's going to fight Mayweather now, like, and Shannon Briggs is probably going to be his... If the only thing that's going to make this interesting for me is if they have Shannon Briggs versus Shannon Courtney on the undercard. But yeah, a farcical fucking event. Disrespect to the sport. Mayweather laughing all the way to the bank to stretch out his party and bullshit for another 10 years before he has to come back and fucking fight Khabib Nurmagomedov or fucking Jorge Masvidal or someone in a crossover fight to pick up another check that he needs to pay off the fucking IRS with. Like, what is he playing at? Like, Floyd Mayweather versus a YouTuber. This is what we have in 2020 wasn't fucking bad enough. Like, Floyd Mayweather versus a YouTuber. You got Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather versus a YouTuber. What the fuck is the world coming to?
This is part of the DAZN's problem as well, because obviously they had the Logan Paul KSI on DAZN, right? And was it no one of the highest watched fights on DAZN? I think it was.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Like so,
no doubt about it.
So you can see DAZN's thinking, they've got a boxing guy running DAZN and stuff like that, so they're seeing that, and they're thinking, okay, we can get Canelo to fight a fucking grizzly bear, we'll do fucking mega millions views and stuff like that. Shit like that. But I had one other one, Steve, is one for Eddie Hearn and Matt for signing the big Chinese fella. What the fuck are they signing that piece of shit for, man? You let Michael Hunter go and then sign that trash. I mean, it was just, this smacks me like a kind of Luis Ortiz type situation. But obviously, I mean, it's an option for them to kind of get Joshua fighting in China, big money fighting that. That was a plan for 4 or 5 years ago and stuff. But fuck me, man.
He's like a big freak, isn't he, Andy? He reminds me like Value, not even Value, because Value wasn't too bad. He's like a Ty Fields or something.
Yeah, he's a big unit, like. But I think he's got an Olympic medal as well. I think, to be honest with you. But other than that, I mean, he's fucking trash. I mean, yeah. It's clearly an option for them to try and, okay, Fury fight can't happen this year. We might not get it with fans, and Bob Arm's talking about maybe getting fans in by November, I think he mentioned. But this is clearly a chance. This is clearly an option for them if they can't get the Fury fight. They're not going to get stadium fights in the UK anytime soon. So I think this is an option for them to go abroad, earn big money payday, probably get a good site fee as well, and everybody earns, everybody wins. Apart from the fans, obviously.
Fuck the fans, episode 391, Bellew of the Weeks. I am going for the man himself, Andy. It's been a while since he got an award. It's got to be Tony Bellew for me. Strong week, though, to be honest. Who are you going for?
I'm going to go for Eddie Hearn, purely for saying that Dillian White was too nice and soft with Alexander Povetkin. Fuck aye. So I'm going to go for that.
And double it up as well for that Showtime polishing a turd.
Yeah.
Double offence.
The ultimate shit polisher is Eddie Hearn, by the way.
Al's running boxing, they all know it. Rob, who are you going for?
Oh, it's got to be Floyd, man. Like, fucking hell. You hoodwinked and bamboozled people into the fucking McGregor fight. Then you went to beat some fucking Tekken character in Japan, beat the shit out of him for another couple of million, and now you're going to sneak into the YouTube market and destroy this fucking moron in out of shape and not training. Like he said, he's come out and said he never trained for the McGregor fight. He just wanted to make it interesting. He wanted to give people a few rounds. He's come out and given the game away, so he's going to do it again. Like, it's a fucking disgrace to the sport. Like, one of the greatest fighters of all time is fighting a fucking YouTuber on a pay-per-view event. Shocking, like.
At least Tyson's fighting Roy, Rob.
Yeah, exactly. Someone will be in the comments saying, it's actually not signed yet. Rob, shut up, like. I know where this is going. Fucking asshole.
Nomination from Floyd this week for rapping, Rob Kelly. Andy, you went for Eddie. I went for Tony Bellew. Anything else you want to throw in, Andy?
Yeah, it could be just throwing the zone as well, because I think they've really kind of shown their business, they've shown their hand with the business plan and stuff. So, you know, what they're wanting YouTubers fighting professional fighters and stuff. So it just tells you, you know, where they're at as an entity, and they've not got a clue. I don't care. I don't give a fuck if they've got businesses all over the world. They're streaming NFL and all. It's good, fantastic for them, but they don't know boxing. You need a boxing guy in there to get that shit fixed out. But the way it's going, I can't see it lasting for much longer, especially the boxing side.
Logan Paul, by the way, is the fella who held his arms above his head and let Ryan Garcia punch him in the stomach to see could he take a body shot, and folded like a fucking deck chair, cracked it to a million pieces. So what the fuck is Floyd going to do to him? Like, Jesus Christ! Oh, for fuck's sake! Fucking hell, man.
Oh, yeah. We'll give him a WBA interim title for being an idiot. And DAZN, yeah, exactly. There's the old adage goes, Andy, the best way to get out of boxing as a millionaire is to come in as a billionaire. Maybe Len Blavatnik and his back of a fag packet strategy is finding that out the hard way. So hopefully we'll have some resolution soon over the next couple of years over the Canelo situation. But
next couple of years,
the next couple of years.
You and I will be retired by that point, man.
No, I think so, Flip me. Might be retired next week at this point. Thanks for coming on anyway. Exactly. Let's get out of here for another night then. Congratulations to everybody who's won Bellew of the Week. I think all three of you, episode 391.